الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد نبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Our brothers and sisters, welcome you everywhere you are to your program Fatwa Live that comes to you Thursday, the 9th of Rajab, the 9th of January, from Mishka Masjid in Houston, Texas. And this is the first part. And the first question that comes to you: is it allowed for people to step on graves? Is it okay for tractors for lawn mowers to go over the graves regularly? As yes, they have a cemetery, and we see in Baqi and Medina. Why don't I just build a dirt mound over the graves so that people know it is a grave? Why don't they flatten the graves? So this way we could recognize there's a grave on top of that in that cemetery, so people will not step on the grave. The answer: we should not walk on it, and you don't sit on it, nor do you lay on it, because the hadith that Muslim has narrated from Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, he said that the Messenger ﷺ said, do not, if somebody sits on a if somebody sits on a charcoal that's lit and it will go through his clothes all the way to his skin and go through his skin, it is better than to sit on the grave. And another one for Jabir, may Allah be pleased, he said that the Prophet ﷺ forbid us from to sit on the grave nor to build on it. And also he said that he forbid the same thing. And there's another hadith that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said that to step on a charcoal that's lit, it's better than to stand on a grave of someone. And also what Ahmed in his book, he said Amr ibn Hazm al-Ansari said that the Prophet ﷺ saw me and I was putting my back toward a grave. He said, do not harm the owner of that grave. The sunnah is to get the grave higher than the earth, like one hand width. That he said that Sufyan al-Tammar, he saw the grave of the Prophet ﷺ in the same way. And Ibn Hibban and his book Al-Bayhaqi in the Sunan, and Al-Bani, that Jabir ibn Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him, that the Prophet ﷺ, he was put in a lahad, which is like to go on the grave and to go to the side. And it was raised in his grave about one palm width. So if the sunnah is to raise it on the grave, on the earth, so it is required to do it, because the and that sand will go back to the grave. And the place of the deceased, it was sand, now it is space, so that sand, it will be on top of him. Inshallah, we will talk about the to Aziz, and I know they are very concerned, and we, inshallah, may Allah bring us the unity. Another question. I'm a Muslim female married to my husband for more than 14 years. I have two sons with him, but we are in the process of divorce. In the past, my husband committed verbally multiple times while signing for the house. Later on in marriage, he said that half of the house will be gifted to me and is mine if there is ever a divorce in the future. He his approximation were, "Don't worry, half of the house is yours. I would never put you out of this on the street. The house is my commitment to you and the marriage. And if there were ever a divorce, you own half, which is why we're put in your name on it as well." Now, because the divorce is happening from his end, and we went to the religious guidance from an ISJH Imam, my husband changed his mind and does not want to keep his promise. He's saying that since Islamically speaking, he is not required to do so, he does not want to give it to me. I feel this is very wrong and unfair because he has given me his word about the gift, and to my knowledge, he can't take a gift given to your wife during the marriage just because you're divorcing her. So I request to have mercy and give his. So the answer: this is a dispute between two partners. You do not judge on it until you hear the other side. But from the principal point of view, the divorcee, she had the rate of her dowry, and to compensate for the inflation, because the loan has to be done with its equal net with its value. But if there is an inflation or there is like a big drop in the valuation of the currency, then you look at what is could be equivalent. And the Sheikh saying like so many years ago, the Egyptian Janae used to worth something to get something, but now it's not worth anything. So this has to be considered the inflation and other values. And she gets her expenditure and her custody of the kids, and also the muta, which is a gift that is given to the women who are divorced to compensate for her feelings, her broken feelings. And as the Azhar in Egypt, they approximate of the expenditure of 2 years, and they let the court to decide how to go beyond that. Depends on what they see that could be just for the divorcee. But I need you to understand the there could be the gift is something that could be promised, but only is owned when it is legally owned and possessed of it. But anyway, I cannot make to decide between this dispute just because I heard from one party, as if you are trying to use the fatwa against your husband. That's now Allah established justice. No, we have to listen to both parties before we could even put any judgment on this. Allah guide you to what is best and bring the best for you, inshallah. Second question. My mom recently became a widow, currently in Idda. We want to know the restrictions of the Idda period, and is she restricted from receiving condolences from my father's nephews? She observes hijab in public. So the answer first, Mecca, inshallah, to compensate her for and reward her for her loss, and to give patience to your heart, and to bring you with your husband in Jannah. What a period for those who are waiting for the. She needs to stay in the house that she heard about her husband's death. So she'll go detox if for a need, and if not, only for emergency until the time is expired. She has to show thoroughness, so she don't beautify herself, not to put any makeup, no cologne, or any color to wear anything that is colorful. Because the Prophet ﷺ who said, it is not allowed for a woman to believe in Allah in the hereafter to have Hajj over 3 days, except her husband. She said 4 months and 10, and do not put kahul, do not wear a garment that is has color except asb, and do not touch any cologne. The hijab, it's Allah's requirement on every woman, whether she is a adda or no. Allah said in the Quran, tell to the believers, women, to lower their gaze and to protect their private parts, and not to show their garment except what is shown, and let them hit with their legs so they will not be known who they are. And Allah said to the Prophet ﷺ, tell your wives and your kids to the believing women to cover so they will not be known, and Allah is most forgiving. So it is okay to take accept the condolences in her house with no isolation or. What is the rule about you work with? For me, that is a dream to buy a house, especially when the size of our family is bigger than what is allowed by law. First of all, that dream, it is. We we have a loan that we need more change in their contract. But other ones that are authenticated like guidance, UIF, Devon Bank, no riba, these you can go back to them and to deal with them. Can you read the Quran when you're doing tawaf in Umrah? Yes. The remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jalla, as we know, also of the Quran is the highest of dhikr. Definitely, it is a lot, but can you do the tawaf and when you stop by the door of the Kaaba and stop and make dua and then continue? To have a short stop, it is okay. So to stop a little bit, it is okay. So you wanted to stop for a few minutes to make dua? It's okay, inshallah. If I have a loan that is not known when I'm gonna, and I am capable of pay it back, part I bought something. Did I avoid that buy? No, no. Do I have a sin? No, because look at the. And if you think that it is okay to change, Allah, the relationship between the father and son, the father always would like to give everything to please his son. There is nothing more beloved to their fathers than to give more for their sons. Uh, what is the rule? Those that sell yoga clothes, and it's just a marketing issue, and they, if it was intended only so I hope no problem. But don't intended to buy the yoga clothes. But anyway, if you have that in your soul, for as far as the permissible, not permissible, so it should be inshallah permissible. Another question. I opened a restaurant and I used one of my relatives and I was trying to help him and I was giving him a good salary. Now they're saying that he is a partner. Well, this question came to me from a different angle, so I will protect myself and my tongue from talking about it before I sit down to both of you. So the fatwa cannot be used in the dispute, so we could put one of the people who disputed on for the other. So take me from this burden. So I will always be neutral. I don't like to put people more than what they could burden. A father who is married to one of the people on the book, and he paid the mortgage from his own money. His wife is not a Muslim, and he did not write a Muslim will. So maybe the house will go to his sons or not Muslims. He don't like people to advise him. He gets angry when he hears this. So, so the rights of people had to be preserved. The the non-Muslim wife does not inherit from a Muslim, but the will it is open, so he can give her a will for half of the house, whatever they agree on. Of course, you need to be careful the rules of the country. So I hope that you take away to your father from someone who could interfere from the relatives or the righteous people to take and make that as a will and ask Allah Azza wa Jal to put the blessing in your acts. If someone farted in the Masjid al-Haram or urinated his enter, does he can he wash the area and make a sinja, or he had to change the clothes? You have changed two things. The farting will void your wudu. So it is required with the, if you remember, and the capability. If you know there's filth and you are capable of changing, then you do. If you prayed and you forgot because you can't move that thing, then you have that good excuse. To leave it, it is required with the, like you cannot make prayer without wudu. I want to buy a house from UIF Bank, but I knew there's doubtful things. And they said all the Muslim institutions are haram. But our ijtihad in Amja, after we heard to so many delegates from the company and we have officials on it a long time ago, but to guide with guidance and UIF, it is allowed, and all the minor things does not even raise to be voided. I pray Isha and then Ash to Sunnah and 3 rak'ahs. And before I pray, I do the Qiyam uh, within with no water. Yeah, your prayer is okay, but without water. But if you thought that you're going to gonna stay awake to a late time, so make the last thing you do is water. So pray rak'ahs of Sunnah. Then if I can't remove the filth in my clothes, what do I do? Allah Azza wa Jal do not overburden you of what you can do. To reduce it, to take it out, is if you remember and if you're capable to, and do what you can't get it all, you should not leave it all. So do as much as you can. But make sure that you are incapable, not you don't want to, you're lazy and all that stuff. Ask Allah Azza wa Jal success for me and you. Ameen. This is a question about Allah, and I'm afraid it's gonna take some time. That's gonna pass the time for this. So inshallah, we'll stop here. Inshallah, we'll continue in a couple of hours. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.